There is a quiet crisis happening in our schools and communities. It affects some of our most vulnerable children. I am talking about support for children with special educational needs and disabilities, or SEND. Right now, this system is under immense strain. Families feel they are in a constant battle. Schools report they cannot cope. Local councils face impossible budget pressures. It is easy to point fingers, but the truth is more complex. No single person or organization is entirely to blame. This is a problem with the system itself. A system that has failed to keep pace with the changing needs of children. A system where good intentions have not led to good outcomes. Understanding this problem begins with some simple facts. Since the Children and Families Act was introduced in 2014, the number of children with an education, health and care plan, an EHCP, has more than doubled. This is a staggering increase. Visual. The line graph shows a steep increase in EHCPs from 2015 to 2025. To its credit, the government has responded with more money. The high needs budget, which funds this support, has risen significantly. It now stands at over £10 billion for 2024 to 25. Yet, despite this extra investment, the system feels like it is failing. The money has not been enough to meet the sheer scale of the demand. By understanding who is responsible, we can begin to see what needs to change. One of the biggest drivers of the SEND crisis is a simple one: demand. Many more children are being identified with special educational needs than ever before. In some ways, this is a positive story. It means we are getting better at recognizing conditions like autism. It means we are getting better at recognizing conditions like ADHD. It means that needs which might have been missed a generation ago are now being seen. Parents and teachers are more aware. Society is more accepting. This increased awareness is a good thing. It is the first step towards getting a child the right help. But our system was simply not designed to handle this rapid and sustained increase in identification. The numbers tell a clear story of this rising tide. In 2015, around 240,000 children and young people had an EHCP in England. Today, 10th of November 2025, that number has surged to over 575,000. This is a rise of 140%. Each one of these plans represents a legal duty for a local authority to provide specific support. One-to-one help in a classroom, access to a speech and language therapist, a place at a specialist school, assessment teams, specialist provision. It has struggled to expand fast enough to meet this exponential growth. It has created bottlenecks at every stage of the process. This surge has been accompanied by a rise in the complexity of needs. Children with complex medical conditions alongside learning disabilities. Children with significant mental health challenges that affect learning. At first glance, the funding picture for SEND seems positive. Central government has repeatedly pointed to a large increase in the high needs budget. This is the pot of money given to local authorities to pay for support for children with the most complex needs. The budget has risen by over 60% in the last 5 years, reaching more than £10 billion. This is a significant injection of cash. So why does it feel like there is less money, not more? This is the funding paradox at the heart of the SEND crisis. The money has gone up, but it has been swallowed by a perfect storm of rising demand, rising costs, historic shortfalls. The primary issue is that funding has simply not kept up with the unprecedented growth in EHCPs. As we saw, the number of plans has more than doubled. This means the extra money is spread more thinly. Each pound has to stretch further to cover more children. At the same time, the cost of providing support has also gone up. Inflation has hit school budgets hard. The cost of securing a place at an independent special school, which councils often have to use when they have no local places, has risen sharply. A single placement can cost tens of thousands of pounds a year. This leaves councils with less money for everything else. This mismatch between funding and need has pushed many local authorities into a financial black hole. The majority of councils in England now have a significant deficit in their high needs budget. Collectively, these deficits are running into the billions of pounds. To manage this, councils have been allowed to use short-term measures, effectively moving the debt into the future. But this is not a sustainable solution. It creates a perverse incentive. Councils are forced to spend money on expensive last-minute placements because they have not been able to invest in creating cheaper local provision. They are trapped in a cycle of crisis management. To understand who is accountable, we first need to understand how the system is supposed to work. The SEN system is not one single thing. It is a complex landscape of different organisations with different roles. Education, health, social care. In theory, these parts are meant to work together seamlessly, all focused on the needs of the child. The 2014 reforms were built on this principle of integrated, joined-up support. In practice, the system is often fragmented and disjointed. Responsibilities are split. Budgets are separate, priorities do not always align. This fragmentation is a major cause of the system's failures. At the top of the chain is central government, specifically the Department for Education. It sets the law, it sets the policy, it sets the national framework. It also holds the purse strings, deciding the overall size of the high needs budget that is distributed to local areas. Its role is to create a system that works and to ensure it is funded adequately. It is also responsible for oversight, holding the other parts of the system to account. When the fundamental design of the system is flawed or the funding is insufficient, the ultimate responsibility must lie here. The government creates the weather in which everyone else operates. Next in the chain are the 152 upper-tier local authorities in England. These councils have the statutory duty to deliver SEN support in their area, carrying out assessments for EHCPs, writing the plans, ensuring the support in those plans is provided. They commission services, fund special school places, manage the high needs budget. They are the operational managers, caught between a legal duty and a financial reality. Then we have the health and social care services. An EHCP is an education, health and care plan. The health component is crucial. Speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, mental health support from CAMHS. Facts and figures can only tell us so much. To truly understand the crisis, we need to hear it, on the ground. Our first story comes from a northern county. A boy with non-verbal autism was told he could manage in mainstream with limited support. In class, the noise and pace left him distressed and withdrawn. His family challenged the plan and started gathering evidence. Reports, forms, and emails piled up. They waited months for a tribunal. At hearing, the panel ruled for the family. He gained a place at a specialist school. They won, but were emotionally and financially exhausted. Our second story is from a Midlands city. A SENCO saw clear need: learning struggles, social difficulties, challenging behaviour. Assessments were slow, the wait for an educational psychologist stretched beyond a year. Corridors filled, classrooms grew crowded. With tight budgets, one-to-one support was scarce. Staff did their best with limited training time. Needs escalated while they waited. The SENCO said, "We know what they need, but our hands are tied." Our third story comes from the southeast. A coastal authority carried a growing high needs deficit as requests for plans rose, a financial cliff edge. Despite multiple professionals flagging need, a family were told an assessment was not necessary. They assembled evidence and commissioned independent reports. They appealed. At tribunal, the panel directed assessment and a plan. When the plan was issued, therapy and one-to-one support began. Progress followed. but the family spoke of lost months and stress and cost. Tribunals can correct individual failures. They cannot fix the system that causes them. These stories show the same pattern. Families, schools, and services working hard inside a structure that too often works against them. So, who is accountable for this state of affairs? The answer is not one person or one group. Accountability is shared across a long chain. However, some links in that chain are stronger and carry more weight than others. It is there, in the halls of Westminster, where the greatest power, and therefore the greatest accountability, lies. Central government holds the primary responsibility. It was the government that designed the 2014 reforms. The aims of the Children and Families Act were noble: to put families at the centre, to join up services, to focus on outcomes. But the government failed to properly model the impact of these changes. It failed to anticipate the explosion in demand that would follow. Most importantly, it failed to fund the system adequately from the start. For years, funding did not match the rising need, creating the deficits that now plague local authorities. Policy, law, and national funding are all set by central government. It has the power to redesign the system, and so it holds the most accountability for its fundamental flaws. Local authorities are the next link in the chain. They are accountable for how they implement the law and spend the money in their local area. They have a legal duty to meet children's needs. When they fail to do so, they must be held responsible. However, it is crucial to see the context. Councils are being asked to fulfill an open-ended legal duty with a fixed and often inadequate budget. Schools and SENCOs are accountable for day-to-day practice, but it is unfair to hold them accountable for systemic failures. They cannot magic up a speech therapist if there is a year-long waiting list. They cannot provide one-to-one support if the funding is not there. Finally, health and care. H and C in EHCP are not optional extras. When NHS trusts fail to provide timely therapy or mental health support, they are failing in their duty. The lack of joined-up commissioning and a culture where SEND is seen as an education problem means health services are often not held to account for their role. Acknowledging the hard truth about accountability is not about blame. It is about creating a blueprint for change. The current system is adversarial. The current system is bureaucratic. The current system is financially unsustainable. To fix it, we need clear, decisive action. This action must be led by central government, but delivered in partnership with every part of the system. It requires a fundamental reset. We cannot keep patching up a system that is broken. We need to build something better based on a clear-eyed view of what has gone wrong and a commitment to putting children first. The first and most urgent step is to fix the funding. The government must create a funding model that is directly linked to the reality of local need. This means acknowledging and addressing the historic deficits. It means providing enough money not just for crisis management, but for long-term investment. This will allow local authorities to move away from relying on expensive independent placements and start building their own local, high-quality specialist provision. It will allow them to invest in the early intervention services that were lost to austerity, helping children before their needs escalate and saving money in the long run. Second, we need to create a truly joined-up system. The silos between education, health, and social care must be broken down. This requires a shared national SEND strategy across all government departments. It requires pooled budgets at a local level so that money can be spent flexibly on what a child needs, regardless of whether it is a health, care, or education service. There should be shared accountability measures so that NHS trusts and local councils are judged together on the outcomes they deliver for children with SEND. Third, we must rebuild the workforce. There is a national shortage of educational psychologists, speech and language therapists, and specialist teachers. The government must launch a national recruitment and retention drive for these vital professions. We need to make these careers attractive and provide clear pathways for training and development. At the same time, we must invest in training for all teachers so that every classroom is an inclusive classroom. Schools need the expertise and the capacity to support a wider range of needs, reducing the pressure on the specialist sector. Our children deserve nothing less. It is time to stop talking about the crisis and start building the solution.